Create a background for your Google Slides, your Google Docs, perfect for Google Classroom, so that students do not have the chance to change it or edit it, and then you can create editable links, editable spots on the slide. So first you're going to want to make the way you want your background to appear in Google in PowerPoint or a different program, or even in Google. I prefer using PowerPoint. It's a little bit easier, I think, to design things. And then you're going to export the page that you want to be your background in Google. So if you notice, I used a paper size slide for this PowerPoint slide, 8.5 by 11, which is a size of a piece of paper, so that if students want to print or you want to print their work, you can print it on a piece of paper, but that's completely up to you. So you go to File, Export, and I'm going to call this picture the recipe of me. If you export the slide, it turns it into a picture, a JPEG, which is what you want. So I would save it there, which I already did. So now I'm going to go over to Google and say I'm going to click on a blank slide. In this case, I'm going to use the slide with the students. And I need to change the size of the slide so that, like I said, it's the size of a piece of paper. So I'm going to go to Custom, and then I'm going to do 8.5 by 11 inches. And then that slide will also be the size of the PowerPoint that the PowerPoint was. I'm going to get rid of these subtitle boxes. And then you're going to go to, Insert. And where is that? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Slide. I had a little blip there. Slide, change background. And in this case, you could change a color if you'd like. If you want that slide to be a certain color, you can change the color. In this case, we're going to choose an image. We're going to go to Browse. And on my desktop, it was called Recipe of Me, which is here, not the PowerPoint, but the actual JPEG I want. So I choose the JPEG, and it uploads. And then it becomes the background, and then you see you can't click on it or change anything about it, which is what you want in this case if you want your students to be able to use this and not change the way the background looks. So I'm going to title it Recipe of Me. And then I want the students to be able to type in their answers here. So I'm going to put Insert Text Box. And I want them to be able to write ideas about themselves in this particular. So I'm just going to copy and paste a bunch of text boxes. And even though you don't see them, they are there so that when the student clicks, they could type. If you want them to be able to see it, you can just double click on it and then click line color there. And then you could see the line. I guess it's a little big for this thing, but and then you can do the same. You can copy and paste each one and put it where you want it. Over here, I'm going to want a smaller text box. So I go to Insert, Text Box, and then I'm going to use a small text box. I'm going to use a line so the kids can see where they're going to type. In this area, I would want a large text box, and then that way the students can type right in there. And then I'm going to want to save. Actually, it saves automatically. PowerPoint, you have to save it when you work, but with Google, it saves automatically, which is nice. And then if you want to insert a new slide, you go to Insert, New Slide, and then you could do a different background if you're interested. Once again, you go to Slide, change background. Maybe this time I'm going to do just a color, and then there it is. So that when you share this with your students, you can type in their names, or you can upload this on Google Classroom. They will only be able to type in the text boxes instead of in the whole thing, or changing the whole thing. And then you're going to want to keep them as a viewer, because if you allow them to be an editor, they can change it and then everyone else can see what they've changed. And yeah, that's how you insert a background into Google Slides or Google Docs for students.